Some of the inhibited grief might come out through play, and things they would say. So you have to keep very observant, listening to things, watching how they play with toys, etc., to see if the symptoms, are coming out like that, which will give you some opportunity to know probably how to step in.
Counsellor at Wholeness and Wellness Counselling Services, Akilah Riley-Richardson, said parents and guardians can look out for things like themes of death and sadness coming out while children engage in play.
Children are not adults, they speak a very different language. So be with children where they're at, listen to their language. If you want to navigate through some pieces with play with them, that's fine as well. And be very, how should I put it? Be very sensitive to things like tantrums, which may seem to just be defiance or disobedience, but truth be told, that's how the grief is coming out.
She said children often struggle to specify what they're feeling.
So give the child the space to be able to name it. Are you experiencing sadness? Are you experiencing anger? You can draw a picture. These are different things that you can do. But pay attention to play, pay attention to explosive behavior, pay attention to withdrawal.
Mrs. Riley-Richardson shared how to deal with a teen or child that has become withdrawn.
And if a child is withdrawing, don't invade. Ask, would you like me to be with you? Teenagers are in a whole different ball game. They are dealing with identity issues, navigating a lot more, thinking through relationships and selfhood and all those kinds of things. So those are some huge questions that will come up for them. So a lot of the conversation may be targeted around, if they so desire, just around like, who am I now?
As mentioned previously by Mrs. Riley-Richardson about being compassionate to adults, compassion is also needed for teens and children.
If they're at the place where they want to discuss what moving forward will look like, be with them, because like I said, in that phase, it's a lot about identity development. So create opportunities for them to have this conversation around who am I now, where am I going, etc. The more we give compassion and tenderness to people in appropriate doses, the more they actually learn to be compassionate to themselves.
She said during the period of coping, loved ones must also remember that there may be a relapse in grief.
It's okay for a child or a teenager or any human being, quite frankly, to be moving forward and then have a relapse. That is normal. It doesn't mean that this person is unhealthy or they're crazy or all these different things we have to say. People are not machines, and even machines have some interesting moments. So we hold space for people to relapse as well and to revisit grief and to be triggered.
She said in today's society there's very little tolerance for sadness and crying.
We've been taught that crying is weakness, but crying is just emoting. Crying is as healthy as laughter.
During this series on coping with grief, one message has been clear by Mrs. Riley-Richardson, that is to be compassionate and support loved ones who are dealing with a loss at any season of the year. I'm Mahalia Joseph-Wharton, keeping tabs on your inner circle.